The integrity of a legal case often rests upon the technical precision used during the initial stages of a digital investigation. This episode explores the technical and legal requirements for preserving electronic evidence without inadvertently changing its original state or compromising its authenticity. In the professional world of digital forensics and e-discovery, the way data is handled determines whether it will be accepted as a valid record or dismissed as unreliable. Typically, a seasoned practitioner treats every data source as a fragile artifact that must be shielded from the slightest modification. What this means is that we must move beyond simple file copying and embrace a rigorous methodology that protects both the content and the context of the information we collect. Before we continue, a quick note. This audio course is a companion to our course companion books. The first book is about the exam and provides detailed information on how to pass it best. The second book is a Kindle-only ebook that contains 1,000 flashcards that can be used on your mobile device or Kindle. Check them both out at cyber.author.me in the Bare Metal Study Guide series. Preservation in a forensic context involves creating a forensically sound copy, often called an image, of the original data to ensure its total integrity for use in court. Unlike a standard copy and paste operation, a forensic image captures every bit of information on the storage medium, including hidden files and unallocated space. In practice, this process creates a perfect digital twin that allows investigators to perform their analysis without ever touching the original source. Typically, this ensures that the digital truth is locked in a static state, protected from the dynamic changes that occur during normal computer operations. By establishing this level of technical stability, the organization provides the legal system with a reliable foundation for determining the facts of a case. A fundamental requirement for any defensible investigation is to practice by documenting every single person who handles a piece of digital evidence from the moment of collection to its presentation in the courtroom. This documentation creates a transparent narrative that accounts for the movement and storage of the evidence throughout its entire life cycle. In practice, this means recording the names, dates, times, and reasons for access whenever a forensic image or physical device changes hands. Typically, any gap in this record can be exploited by opposing counsel to suggest that the evidence was tampered with or poorly managed. What this means is that the administrative log is just as important as the technical data for establishing the credibility of your findings. A common and highly damaging mistake observed in many initial responses is an employee opening a file to check its contents, which immediately changes the file's metadata and can ruin its value as evidence. Modern operating systems automatically update last accessed or last modified timestamps the moment a file is opened, effectively altering the digital footprint of the record. In practice, these metadata changes can make it impossible to prove when a document was truly last viewed or edited by a suspect. Typically, a judge or forensic expert will view these alterations as a failure to maintain a proper evidentiary standard. By training staff to avoid interacting with original files, the organization prevents the accidental destruction of the very data it is trying to protect. You can achieve a significant quick win for your investigative capabilities by utilizing write-blocking hardware or specialized software whenever you are imaging a suspect hard drive or storage device. A write blocker is a physical bridge that allows data to flow from the suspect drive to your forensic workstation while strictly preventing any data from flowing back to the drive. In practice, this provides a hardware-level guarantee that the original evidence cannot be modified, even by the computer's own operating system or background processes. Typically, the use of a write blocker is a standard expectation in a professional forensic lab and is often the first thing an expert will look for in your collection report. This technical safeguard ensures that your preservation process is beyond reproach in a legal setting. Visualize a professional and comprehensive chain of custody log that shows a continuous, unbroken, and clearly documented history of the evidence's location and handling. This log acts as the ultimate receipt for the digital assets, proving that they were stored securely and handled only by authorized personnel using approved methods. In practice, a well-maintained log includes specific details such as the unique serial numbers of the devices and the cryptographic signatures of the files involved. Typically, The presence of such a log provides the court with the necessary assurance that the evidence has remained in a closed loop since it was first acquired. This level of organizational discipline is what allows the legal team to present the facts with total confidence in their authenticity. In the world of data integrity and forensics, we use the term hashing to describe the creation of a unique mathematical fingerprint used to prove that a file or an entire drive has not been altered in any way. A hashing algorithm, such as SHA-256, processes the data and produces a specific string of characters that is unique to that exact set of bits. In practice, if even a single character in a million-page document is changed, the resulting hash value will be completely different. Typically, investigators calculate a hash at the moment of collection and again at every stage of the analysis to verify that the data remains identical to the original. This mathematical proof is the gold standard for establishing the integrity of digital evidence in a professional legal environment. Reviewing these specific preservation steps on a regular basis ensures that your evidence will be admissible in court and trusted by the legal system during a high-stakes dispute. Admissibility refers to whether a judge will allow the evidence to be used in the case, and this often depends on whether the organization followed standard professional procedures. In practice, the legal team must be able to explain the technical steps taken to ensure that the data presented is a true and accurate reflection of the original source. Typically, a well-defined and consistently followed preservation workflow is the best defense against claims of data spoliation or technical incompetence. This commitment to procedural excellence is what transforms raw technical data into a powerful and persuasive legal asset. Imagine the professional frustration and potential legal disaster of having critical, smoking gun evidence thrown out of court because the chain of custody was broken or poorly documented. When a gap exists in the record, the judge may rule that the evidence is unreliable, making it impossible for the organization to prove its case or defend its actions. Typically, these failures lead to a loss of credibility for the entire legal team and can result in significant financial penalties or unfavorable judgments. In practice, the cost of relitigating a case or settling because of lost evidence is many times higher than the cost of following proper preservation protocols from the start. This realization highlights why the technical details of preservation are a non-negotiable part of modern organizational governance and risk management. Every professional should anchor their investigative workflow in the fundamental rule that digital evidence must be handled as little as possible by human hands. Every time a person interacts with a system or a file, the risk of accidental modification or procedural error increases. In practice, this means relying on automated, forensically sound tools to perform the heavy lifting of collection and analysis whenever possible. Typically, the most successful investigators are those who act as careful overseers of a structured process rather than as manual explorers of the data. What this means is that your role is to facilitate a professional workflow that minimizes human intervention and maximizes the objective reliability of the digital records being preserved. We have now covered the critical importance of protecting file metadata and the formal procedures required for maintaining an accurate and legally defensible chain of custody. By understanding these technical and administrative requirements, the organization can build a more resilient framework for handling digital proof. Typically, the most effective teams are those where the technical responders and the legal counsel have a shared understanding of the standards required for forensic excellence. In practice, this alignment ensures that every action taken during an investigation is designed to protect the integrity of the facts. This integrated approach to preservation is what ensures that the organization's digital history remains a trusted and usable resource throughout the legal process. A highly effective technique for maintaining this integrity is to use a dedicated and secure storage area or a locked evidence locker for all physical devices and digital media involved in an investigation. This restricted environment ensures that the evidence is protected from accidental deletion, unauthorized access, or environmental damage while it is in the organization's care. In practice, access to this area should be strictly controlled and logged, providing yet another layer of evidence for the chain of custody report. Typically, a professional evidence room is separate from the standard IT storage areas to prevent any confusion between routine equipment and active legal assets. What this means is that you are treating the physical evidence with the same level of professional rigor that you apply to the digital files. Mastering these preservation techniques ensures that the digital truth remains intact, verifiable, and fully usable throughout the entire legal process, from the first discovery request to the final trial. When the facts are preserved with precision, the legal team can focus on the merits of the case rather than defending the technical methods used to collect the data. Typically, an organization that demonstrates this level of technical maturity is viewed as a more credible and reliable participant in any legal or regulatory proceeding. In practice, the energy you spend on perfecting your preservation and chain of custody workflows today is a direct investment in the long-term legal safety of the company. This focus on integrity is what defines a truly professional and defensible information governance program. This unit on the essentials of digital evidence preservation is now complete, and you have gained a solid understanding of how to maintain the authenticity of your records under legal pressure. We have discussed the role of forensic imaging, the importance of metadata, the use of write blockers and hashing, and the critical nature of the chain of custody log. A warm and very practical next step for your own professional development is to take a moment today and clearly define the term metadata in your own study notes. As you do so, consider the various types of information such as timestamps, file paths, and user identities that combine to create the digital context of every record your organization produces. Moving forward with this focus on detail will help you ensure that your organization's digital truth is always safe and fully defensible.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit DailyCyber.News.